Incredible day, family. Welcome to the Your Perspective Matters podcast. I am your host, Ronald,
And I'm your co host, Jazmine.
and we are here to make you uncomfortable, family. So, on today's topic, um, this is actually another spare of the moment episode because of the fact that this is kind of like something that we're dealing with, and I truly believe that the episodes that resonate the best are the ones that happen to you in the moment. So on today we're gonna talk about some accountability. We're gonna talk all deep in it, around it. We gonna sip it. Matter of fact, I need my cup. Hold
Sip
on.
tea. It's about to be a lot of tea. It's about to be a lot.
I got you got me you got me with my
I said, why did I not put that in my order?
yeah, I don't know why you didn't. I need
I'm
to talk to you also about that as well because I made some changes with the discount and I'm gonna tell you what happened
okay.
after because we got to talk about that
Oh,
for sure, for sure.
okay.
Accountability, hey. But anyway, so today, me and Jazmine was really like getting crafty with our conversation with this, and I believe that I want to speak on specifically at the moment two types of accountability. You have the self accountability, and then you have I guess people or other people accountability, meaning that other people are going to hold you accountable. So before I really get into it, Jazz, what's your perspective? Or let's back up because you know I'll be getting before you know it, we about to get saucy. How are you feeling today?
I am well. I feel refreshed. I feel accomplished. I just, I don't know. I feel a little new today. Yeah.
Okay, new as in brand new.
I think I feel brand new.
Okay, why brand new and not normal or regular?
Because I've already started making a drastic change in my life with a few things. Um, so I don't know. We're going to talk about it
Okay,
in just a second.
well, we gonna get into it. Okay, so we might get into it early with our icebreaker questions, right? So the first one is what did you win at today?
Today,
Yep,
showing up.
I'm gonna testify. I'm there too. Lord,
Showing up. That's what I accomplished today so far. Um, what time is it? It's eight something almost. Is it almost nine on my end? 6 o'clock on Ronald's end. So yeah, showing up is the first thing you have to do anything, right? So I've accomplished that.
let me tell you. Man, I only got 2 hours of sleep. So and it wasn't even like a full sleep only because of the fact that I was nervous that since I went to sleep so late, I
That
didn't,
you woke up.
oversleep. So that that's definitely something that I conquered as well is showing up. Um, and then the next question is going to be what's something this week that you failed at?
I didn't go work out yesterday.
Ooh,
but I wouldn't even call that a fail.
Okay.
Yes, I will. Never mind. I'm gonna take that back. It was a fail because I didn't get up yesterday morning at 5 a.m. like I usually do to go work out. Um, I was literally about to make an excuse, but it's so crazy. All of this like really goes together. Like when I tell the story, it's gonna be. But anyway, I was about to make an excuse, and I just vowed to myself yesterday not to excuse my actions with my words. So, yes, I did feel like not waking up to go work out. Um, that was it. For was that it? 2 days this week I did not work out.
Dang.
Yeah,
You just don't love your body at all. You're like, forget my body. I'm just not gonna. No, let me.
I don't feel that way. But yeah, my actions didn't match my words. So two things can't be true sometimes. So I have to be accountable and say my actions are showing that I do not care that much. So I gotta change that.
Accountability. There we go. We already getting
Oh,
close.
this sucks. This is gonna be such it's so hard. But yeah.
It's gonna be good. Now, um, okay. So for me, what did I fail at this week? I think it would probably be the same thing. I've been telling myself for like 3 weeks already, hey, I'm going to work out. And then every time when I have this thing where, because I used to do it all the time when I was in Houston, um, I would consistently work out. And then when I work out, I just always have to look at my body. So every morning recently, when I go to work, or every time when I'm heading to work, I would like walk by either a car or window, whatever, and I would just look at the reflection of my body as I'm walking. And like when I used to work out, it looked good. When I look at myself now, I look like a foot. I'm like, come on, like this is not what
What?
this is what we're doing. Like I don't look nothing like an appetizer, a snack, an entree.
That's funny.
It's looking like I need to. I don't know. It's just not looking good. So I think for me for this week, it would be that. And I also, well, at the time that this drops, my merch is going to be out. But specifically, right before this recording, I think the other thing that I failed at is also not launching the merch sooner
Hmm.
because and I keep getting people that want to purchase the merch. So that is something that I know for sure that I can hold myself accountable. As well as I know you're gonna hold me accountable to be able to get these things done.
Hmm.
Actually, we're gonna spend some time after this because we were supposed to meet yesterday. So we're gonna spend some time after this to make sure we get that done for sure.
Hmm.
I can't wait to tell you what happened because
Oh my God. I was literally just thinking about that. I was like, I wonder what the freak happened with this.
it
Like,
was so all right. So this is what happened, right? So uh I made some money, right? From work, right? So I got some money or whatever, and I I'm aware that it costs, right?
mhm,
And I maybe I can put this out there for people that are also trying to get merch and stuff like that. I'm aware that it costs you to make the merch, right?
mhm,
Um, so if it costs you to make the merch, just because you get a sale doesn't mean that um, no. What I want to say is your even though you give a discount, you have to account for how much it costs to make the item, right? So it And this is what happened, right? If I was to give somebody the merch for free
Mm,
from the website, it still cost me.
mhm,
So, long story short, when I got the first order, aka your order,
mhm.
I had a huge deduction in my account. And I was like, what the hell? Where did it come from?
It's huge deduction for me.
Yo, because look, let me tell you, I'm yo,
I'm sorry.
because it hit me, it hit me left field. Like, so this is what happened, right? This is exactly what happened. Wait. I want to finish.
I am in tears.
Yeah, I was so, I was so like, what the hell happened? So where was I at? I was at I can't remember what store. I was at I was at a store. Like, so all right, so look, right? I get my money when I finish the job, I get my money directly after, right? Hold it together because it's gonna get more interesting, right? I get I get my money directly after. And so I'm like, all right, cool. I know exactly what I got. So I'm like, all right, I'm lit. So the I go to the store to go get I think a drink or something. I forgot what it was. And then I go and actually no, it was what's today? It was a couple mornings ago, right? I had to be at work super early, like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. So I get there to buy a Celsius. A Celsius is only like about $3.
Mhm,
Like that much money, right? So I get the Celsius, and then I also um get like some peanuts or whatever, right? Which is like another $2-3. So I'm like, all right, cool. I go there and put in my card, and it says not authorized. Wait, what are we talking? Yo, I'm like, wait. I'm like, I know they like. Cause I've never even seen. I've seen decline before, so I'm like, okay, it didn't say decline, so it must be either that it's not reading my chip or whatever. So I'm like, whatever. So I take it out and I do it again, and it says not authorized. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So thank God I had cash on me, so I paid in cash. I go to
mhm.
work, come home, and then I realize like, oh, right now I should have an extra $100, which means that I got about $200 extra right now. I'm cool. I look at my thing and it's only 100. So I'm like, where my other change
Right.
go? And and I started to look at my statement or whatever, and I saw Riverside on there. I saw something else that I had on there. I think it was Canva, So those $20 each or whatever. Not nothing crazy. But when I guess I must have skipped it because the latest one was the merch. And when
Mhm.
I'm merch, I see charging me like 80 something dollars. I said, I was like, yo,
That
what?
is not funny.
So this this is I guess a sidebar that is doing merch. You do a discount, make sure you are accounting for the cost of what you do because I'm over here telling Yo, it is a learning experience. It is a learning experience. You
Told
got
you.
to,
Yo.
yeah,
Oh God. We're gonna talk about that.
yeah, yeah. We're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix that. But
I needed that laugh. That was hilarious.
yeah, crazy. Maybe that's what I failed at. That's probably what I failed at. Yo, this episode is not supposed to be funny. What's going on?
Ooh. Oh
Yo,
God.
this, this is like, oh
That
man,
is so
um,
funny.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, listen, yeah, let me tell
Oh my God, I gotta stop laughing.
I'm still shocked, but
Ooh.
we gotta move on for the sake of time. But yes, st- make sure you do your numbers.
Yes.
Um, so when we talking about accountability, and it's funny that we're on this topic because that's been something that I've been like talking to people often. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like that's been my conversation, and it's also been a lot in terms of spiritual when it comes to some people coming to Jesus or being a new believer and they're saying, "Hey, I want to I love God. God is who I serve, but they're not honoring God with their life."
Mm-hmm.
And I've had literally like three conversations this week just on that topic alone of if you really are um if you really believe not believe, but if you really want to represent God well, you have to make sure that you are honoring him in that capacity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to ask you, um and I wasn't even gonna go spiritual, but on the spiritual side, like do you believe that you're holding yourself accountable for being able to steward well of your relationship with God?
No. I haven't been. Like you said, people will say they want one thing and then they don't follow through with it. Um, like that's been me for sure. I've been very inconsistent with my relationship with God, and it makes me feel horrible, honestly, because it's just like he's so giving, he's so loving, he's so forgiving, he's so like, graceful, and as a human we take advantage of that, and it's I don't want to take advantage of it, so I need to stop doing it because if just in this world, if someone was doing that to me, I would have a complete problem with it. And it's like, yes, I'm forgiving, but I'm not as pure as God is. You know what I mean? Like, I may forgive you, but I'm still going to be upset, or I'm still going to feel this way, or whatever the case is. I mean, I know how to let things go pretty well, but I'm not God, and I want to be God like. So um, my actions just need to mirror what I desire when it comes to my relationship with God. And I can do a lot better. I really can. I know what to do. I grew up in church. Even if I didn't, I know God. My parents know God so well. They taught me so much. Um, and even the times where I wasn't in church at all.
Hmm.
Hush. Sorry, guys. My dog is over there. I'm sorry. So, For a while, I wasn't going to church. A few years ago, just wasn't going at all, and I was still sharing God's word with people. I was still like doing Bible study here and there, but then I felt like a hypocrite because I'm like, okay, I can easily have a conversation with someone about God. I can easily give them more knowledge about God like this. But that makes me a hypocrite because I'm talking to somebody else about God, but I'm not talking to God.
Mm.
So it's like, and it's kind of like the same energy as your parent not giving you your accolades, but to everybody else, my daughter does this, my son does this, or but at home, you don't tell me how proud you are. You don't tell me how good I'm doing. You don't reassure me that I'm doing the right thing or the wrong thing. I get nothing. And and that's a tough pill to swallow because I am 100% wrong for that. And it's like, one thing about myself is I was kind of, I don't know if this is like a manipulation thing or something, but if I'm not doing something for a while and then I turn around and then do it for a few days and then I turn back around and now I'm no longer consistent, my brain is going to say, well, you got back to it, you just haven't been consistent. And it took me a while to realize you're excusing your actions and that's not okay. And it's like, just because you did it for 5 days, that doesn't really mean anything because you keep going back and forth between doing it and not. So, which one are you going to choose? It can't be both. You can't say, yeah, I have been, but I haven't been. Okay. So, have you been or haven't you been?
That part.
Which one is it? So, the real answer is you haven't been. Because if you were, you wouldn't say both.
That's a good one.
And that goes with like just life decisions too. I don't know why that's making me a little emotional. I'm always somewhere crying about something. Anyway, um, yeah, like just even with that, it just and that's what I've been dealing with this week. Like I'll say, well, yeah, I have. Yes, I did. Or I did do this. And it's just like, okay, how many times did you do it though? Once, twice. That don't really amount to anything. If you were consistent in it and diligent in it and disciplined within that action, then you can sit there and say, yes, I have. Yes, I did. I do that. But if it's back and forth, you really can't say that you do.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't hold on. I can't give credit to inconsistency.
Mm. Mm.
And that's been one of the things that's been really tough for me to like Jazmine, you gotta get it together. I cannot credit inconsistency. That should be a podcast too. Anyway, I cannot credit that because, for example, dang, I don't even want to say that yet. But yeah, like I said, I can't do something for a few days or even just one day, and then I go back to not doing anything. Then I keep telling myself, I really need to do this, I really need to do this, I really need to do this. Then I'm not doing it.
Mhm. The so you mentioned something so powerful about consistency, and there's a so I created a 5 day challenge for trading called the five problems that people have, or the five top problems people have in trading. And one of the things is being confident, and how you build confidence is by doing something repetitively and consistently, right? Repetitively means that you are doing something a certain number of times, right?
Mhm.
How many times you've done something. I've done this 6 times today. I've done this 6 times this week. I've done this 3 times this week. With consistency, it speaks to how often you do something, right?
Mhm.
So I might have done this 3 times this week, but I did this 4 times. I did this every week this month, basically. I did this training every week, which is that's how often I'm doing it every week. The thing about what you're saying, which is so powerful, is that we confuse being repetitive. It's kind of like I'm gonna put my reps in,
Mhm.
but I'm not gonna put my sets in.
Right.
You know. So
Exactly.
so what's so good about that is because what happens is you start to put what is it, like for example, if I'm doing my push-ups, like I can tell when when somebody's a true, not just a workaholic, but like they getting it in the gym. When I see that there's person A that's able to do 50 push-ups straight, he's like, yo, I can knock this out. This is life. But then you have the other person that does 10 sets of 15,
Mhm.
and you're like, the guy's like, man, you gotta bump it up. You what? But after your man's did 50 push-ups, he ain't doing no more.
Exactly.
So number one, we have to know the difference between if we're doing something repetitively, if
Mhm.
we're putting our reps in, or if we are being consistent, right? How often we're doing something. And
Yeah.
if you hold yourself accountable, what happens is you will justify, hey, I've done this 5 times this week. I should be good. You're not
Mm.
gonna build muscle if you work out 5 times in one week and don't work out for the next 6 months. You're not gonna build no muscle,
Exactly.
right? So um and going on the when we talk about self accountability versus accountability from others, I was having this conversation um recently, I think a couple days ago, actually with two different people. And what I believe is we were talking about taking yourself to the next level.
Mhm.
And I was saying that we are not working hard enough. We're not at the potential that we should be at, or we're not performing in the capability that we need to perform because there is no accountability. If there's no accountability, you hold no responsibility to what's happening, to what you're doing wrong, right? And as I kept, because I was getting crafty with that conversation. I wish the whole thing was recorded, but um, when it comes to that, what happens is when you are, um, I don't want to lose my train of thought. When you are, when you start to put yourself into accountable, right? There's people. This is where I'm going, right? You want to at some point you have to have a level of self accountability.
Mhm.
It has to get to a point where you say, you know what, Dag, I just didn't do good. Oh, I said you basically gotta whip yourself. You got to cut off and whip yourself and be like, yo,
Yeah.
I didn't put in the work that I needed to, so I have to, work harder. Like there gotta be
You gotta stop.
some sort of repercussions or something that you need to pay for, something that can justify like, okay, if I didn't do what I was supposed to do, these are my consequences. And
Mhm.
doing that, right? Um, when it comes to self accountability? I got a lot more to say, but um how do you how what's your perspective on that?
I agree wholeheartedly. Which is one thing that I've really, man, the past few weeks have been a lot, as far as taking accountability. And now that you said that, this is why I said I feel like I feel brand new today.
Mhm.
Um, Yesterday I made a vow to myself and to other people. Of course, the other people don't know that, but I like wrote it down, and it was like a paragraph, and I was basically saying, I want myself and others to listen to my actions and no longer my words going forward.
Mm,
If it don't match, I'm going to hold myself accountable. And if I say something to somebody and my actions don't match to them, they can hold me accountable. I will be prepared for anything that comes from that. There's a consequence to every action I make, whether it's good or bad. What else did I put on there?
Can
Um,
can we pause real quick? I have to if I can offer a different perspective on that, right?
okay.
Um, when it comes to people honoring your actions, like saying, okay, I want you to hold me accountable and I want you to honor my actions and not just my words, right? Or not my words. I think you have to be able to give light to the both of them, right?
Right.
Because there's going to be seasons, and this is my just my perspective. There's going to be seasons where you have season A where the people that you're leading, you need to lead them by what you do,
Right.
right? They need to see that it's done, that it's capable through you
Mm-hmm.
to build the trust, right?
Is
That's going to them to not hold you just accountable, but that'll give you the stamp of approval to be able to lead them.
mm-hmm.
And I say this because this is also has been seasons of my life, multiple different seasons where you have the capability to do better, right? But
Mm-hmm.
in specific seasons, the only thing that you can hold on to strongly is your word. And if I tell you, hey, I need you to only um mark me with just my actions and not my word, it'll I would lead people, or I want to say it's a word that I've been trying to get for just the longest, but I it's not just leading people, but um I'm gonna do a disservice because season B or the second season is going to be people that don't need to see you do it. They just need to hear you speak it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said if I could offer a perspective, like we have to be able to learn how to honor both, right? Okay, you need to honor my actions for sure, right? But even if I don't do what I said I'm going to do, you need to know that the words still matter. So
Mm-hmm.
even say, hey, we're going to be millionaires, you got to hold on to that. Even if I'm not doing millionaire stuff, you can still do millionaire stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Allow it to be something that covers who you are, right, into your whole entire being. Because words are just as powerful as action, for sure. You know?
I agree. I wasn't saying it as in I wasn't saying it as in literally don't listen to nothing I say. I wasn't saying it like that. Like my whole entire paragraph was speaking on my actions and my words. The first part of it was talking about just my actions. Like, because the main thing is bottom line, Jazmine needs to do this, Jazmine needs to do that, Jazmine needs to do that. So if I say I'm going to do something, I need to do it. Even if I don't do it right away, it just needs to be done. The middle part of my paragraph was saying that literally that it just needs to match. So I agree with you. I don't think I will ever like not say anything and do something, or say something and then like never do it, if that makes sense.
Right.
I'm just trying to hold myself more accountable to my action part of my journey right now, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Which is why I wrote it. Um, so yeah, we're on the same page with that for sure, because you're absolutely right. Some people need to just hear you. Some people need to see you do it. A lot of people learn in different ways. Like a visual learner, a hands-on learner. What's the other two? I forgot. Y'all know, y'all went to school, but yeah, like there's so many different learners. Me, I'm multifaceted with that one. I need to see you. I need to hear you. I need to do it. So I got to do all of that for me to truly grasp something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly, 100%.
So we have the self accountability part, right? Where we have to develop um a level of self accountability where we take ownership of our own actions, right?
Hmm.
And this was a part of the conversation that I was having, is that there will be people, or even us, right? We are people. There will be times where we don't know how or have the self accountability. So, in order for you to get there, you have to learn how to put yourself in an environment of people that will hold you accountable. Because if you're gonna stay stagnant and you're gonna stay where you are at. But when
Hmm.
you're around them, it's gonna be very uncomfortable. Hence, that's the reason why we got the podcast, right? It's going to be uncomfortable because you're going to hear, "Hey, Jazz, you didn't go to work. You didn't go do the workout today. What happened? I missed you." Yo, Ron, where's the podcast episode? Yo,
Hmm.
T, this, yo, Jazz, what you like? It You're going to need that, and it may look like they're bugging you. It may look like they're annoying, but they're holding you accountable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're gonna have, sorry to cut you off, but you're gonna have people that will do it in different levels. Some people will be strategic and spare your feelings, and other people won't spare your feelings at
Okay. I know that firsthand, sweetheart. I know exactly what you meant by that line for sure.
all. That is so. Who? Okay, let's go here first, right?
Hmm.
Ever been in a season and describe the season where you was not holding yourself accountable, but you had others to do that for you.
Right now. Right now. And it's whooping my behind. Right now. Right now. You got to be careful for what you ask for. You have to be careful for what you ask for, because as soon as you ask for it, that's how it goes. It's gonna start coming left and right, and you're gonna have to practice it. So that's what's been going on. Like I had, I I prayed for more discipline and more consistency, more accountability, or whatever. And when I say I have been tested on these very things every single day for the past 3 months. So it's been tough. It's been really tough. Um, but well, yeah, it's been really tough. But it is also molding me into a better person, because Um, I'm learning, and I'm really like I'm getting tired of, like sorry, I'm getting tired of like just not 100% taking myself accountable because it's like, okay, well, if I just do it and then I don't like how that feels, I'm going to want to change that.
mm,
So that's kind of where I am. So like with my business, no, just with anything. My main thing was excusing my actions, which is like that's just I need to learn how to not do that. And it's like even what you said earlier, you were saying like, one day someone's gonna be like, hey Ron, where's the podcast? Or hey Jazz, where's the workout? And instead of saying, hey, I didn't get to it because mm-mm, it's I didn't get to it. I'll be back tomorrow. Or I'll be posting later. That's it.
yeah,
It's either you did it or you didn't. It's a yes or no. Did you do it? Yes. Okay, great. Did you do it? No. Do not tell me why.
no,
Don't tell me why you didn't do it because it doesn't matter. You didn't do it. So either make sure you do, and you also have to stand on the fact that you didn't.
right,
And you have to stand on whatever comes with not doing it in that moment.
yeah. Oh my God. Yeah,
So that's where I am. Like that's where I am. So like now I can dissect that with my business. Um I've been saying for 2 3 months now, I really need to clean out my office. I really need to get this together so I can get all of these jars and stuff sterilized that the guy I'm dating got for me. And I would go in that office and turn right back around.
mm, damn.
And then he would be like, "Did you get everything sterilized yet?" No, because he'd be like, "No, I don't want to hear that. Either you did or you didn't.
Right.
Either you did or you didn't." He was like, "Jazmine, if I come over there and I see those boxes in your garage, I'm taking them back." So what I did, which was probably manipulative, I did it. I never put them in the garage. I just I left them. I just left them downstairs, but I never put them in the garage though. I'm like, and I feel like that was manipulative on my end because I said these were going to be sterilized within a week and they were going to be put up in my shelves. That way I can start making products. I have not done that yet. However, now that I've gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, I haven't done it. I need to do it. There's no why I haven't anymore. I just need to do it. So last week, that's when I started cleaning out my office and throwing things away or whatever. I'm still not done because I have a lot of things that I do need to just throw away. Um, so that'll actually be done this weekend, and I'll be able to start sterilizing so I can put everything up. Proud of myself with that. Another thing, what's another thing? The working out. So my whole thing was, I said it earlier this week too. I was like, oh, I didn't get to the gym at 5 a.m. because I couldn't get out the bed. You just didn't go. You just didn't go. That's just it. There's no because nothing. I understand you're in pain and your body is sore, whatever. Okay, well, that's a given because you just started back working out.
Right.
And Jasmine, to be quite honest, if you were still paying your trainer, you would get the hell up and you would go because you're paying that extra ass money to have someone train you. So now that you're doing it on your own, guess what? You're still paying for a gym membership. You're still paying for a workout program. So your best bet is to just get the hell up and do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And then there's a consequence to every action. Okay. I didn't get up this morning, so now I got to go after work. That's my consequence. I hate going to work out after work. I like to be able to come home and focus on other things. So if I don't get up at 5, then I can't come home and work on my business. If I can't come home and work on my business, then that's going to delay something I have to get done with that. If that gets delayed, then it's going to delay this. It's a ripple effect.
It is a ripple for
It's a
sure.
ripple effect. So it's just like, okay. And then with the podcast, we have to get here at a certain time. I'm an hour late. That delays the rest of my day. That delays the rest of yours. It may not be drastic, but it still does. And then what if I didn't show up at all? Then there wouldn't be no podcast
I would
episode.
get to Atlanta and come get you because
But yeah, like just stuff like that. And the crazy part is these things that I just named are so simple.
sure.
It's just a get up and do. Just get up and do it. Like I'm already determined to have a certain body type for myself. I'm already determined to have a multi-million dollar business, billion-dollar business. I'm already determined to have multiple businesses. I'm already determined to do great in the podcast. I'm already determined to be a good partner. So there's actions that need to come with that. So do it. There's no, oh, I haven't done that because oh, I haven't because you like no, I can't. I can't keep doing that. And it's like when someone else says it to me like that, I'm just like no, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't
So
like.
so I want to get. Oh man, this is about to get real deep, right? This is about to get real deep. So we have self accountability, and then we have what is it called? We have the accountability of others where they intentionally hold you accountable. But there is, excuse me, there's the side of accountability that of others that is almost um in not indirect or non-indirect. Like it's not necessarily an intentional thing, right? And the reason why I say that is because oftentimes what happens is are not um we are not at the capacity or the level of putting forth or performing well because we're not allowing others to hold us accountable. And how others hold us accountable is not just them holding us accountable, but is to be accountable for others.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to if you didn't work out, right? Yeah, we know the effects of how it, may not the benefit, no, not the benefit, the consequences for yourself. But what if there was somebody that you was going to work out with and they needed it for their health
Mm-hmm.
and you decided not to show up?
Mm-hmm.
Now, not only does it affect you that you didn't put in the work for yourself, but now you're affecting the livelihood of someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I had a very uncomfortable conversation with somebody a couple weeks ago to about a month ago, and I was telling this person that the reason why you are doing what you are doing is because you don't even realize you feel like you're not leading somebody. And I think that's the worst mindset that we could ever have because we think that we're not leaders, so we end up doing whatever the heck we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is, you have to be aware, number one, that everybody was born a leader. The
Right.
moment you are birthed, you are considered a leader. I want every listener and viewer to know that. And two, when it comes to being born a leader, everybody doesn't know. that they are a leader. So you got to be aware that you are a leader.
Mhm.
And eventually, when you become aware of it, you now have to do well, right? You have to be able to perform well now. So now you have to focus on how do I develop myself as a leader.
Mhm.
Most of us are leading and don't even know who we are accountable for. Like I know for 100%, you and TP, I'm accountable for you
Mhm.
guys. If I don't show up, it gives you guys the excuse to not show up, but not
Mhm.
just show up in the podcast, but to not show up in your business and so on and so forth. There were times where um when we wasn't doing the podcast and we didn't talk, but you guys were so heavy on my heart that God allowed me to pray. Many times we don't even gotta talk about business or anything. It's literally because I'm accountable for you guys, I have to be a covering. So if
Mhm.
covering, I would do our relationship a disservice if I don't cover you the right way.
Mhm.
And even though we didn't communicate as far as like calling and texting and video chatting and all of that, we still had that connection because I was able to pray. And both you guys were like, yo, I've been needing that prayer. Like, thank you. And it's like you just never know. So you have to continuously show up for the people that you are accountable for, but you also have to know that you are accountable for something.
That's true. That is super true, actually. Even the
Who,
ones you don't even know of yet, like you said earlier. Um, the type of people that we are, and I'm sure the people that are going to be watching this, you're probably amongst that group as well. The type of people that we are, we're going to end up having a community if we don't have one already, and multiple at that. Um, and even in your friendships, sometimes you might be that friend that everyone comes to for advice or just the vent or whatever the case is. And that's because they value what you say. They value how smart you are. They value your value. Like they see how valuable you are.
yes,
And that's one thing I've realized as well, like with my friends. And I'm just like, wow, y'all actually pay way more attention to me than I thought.
hmm, yeah,
And like even people that I'm not exactly friends with, if I'm consistent on posting, just about God or something like that, or just sharing my experience with something, I will always get multiple DMs about how that person has either dealt with that before, or they have a family member that's dealt with it, or they're thanking me for sharing that because they weren't able to say it, um, or just thanking me for being consistent on sharing something that they needed to see.
yeah,
Things just as simple as that. You don't realize, yes, you are showing up for yourself, but sometimes we really don't get how many people we're showing up for. And that plays a huge part in being accountable and being consistent and diligent in what you want to do in life, because you never know who's watching you. And the ones that you do know that are watching you, you never really know how they actually feel until they say it.
that is
And
true.
then once you realize that these people value your perspective and your opinion that much, it makes you kind of steer a little differently if you don't feel like you're steering all the way correctly. Because a lot of people are easily influenced.
For sure.
And, I wouldn't want to be one of those people that's influencing someone in a negative light.
Right.
So, yeah. And that takes a lot of growing up to know that you are not the only person that you have to be accountable for sure. So
That's good. Let me tell you, I that's my conversation that I have with a lot of people when it comes to accountability because it's like I I'm a big analyzer and I watch what people do and how people do it and how often they do it, and then I'll ask them questions like, hey, so um like like do you consider this a good deed, or do you like what you do? And people just be like, yeah, it's my life. I could do what I want, this and the third. I'm like, on the spiritual side, it's not your life, right? But
Not.
it's
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 all a
not
test. It's all a game. Remember that part.
right. Um, but like it's just so crazy because you have people that just they literally would be so willing to do whatever they want to do, however they want to do, and not understand that it's the people that you don't know. Like I it's been, and I think it's been a lot of women actually that I've been speaking life into. And it's almost the same thing, where it's like you have to realize, and hey, if I gotta talk to the women that's on the podcast, or that's listening to this, including you, Jazz, um, you gotta realize, number one, that you are needed, right? But you are needed um on a far bigger capacity than what you think. That's the reason why there is such a great call on your life. That's the reason why there is a great expectation for you to be able to not just do good, but do great, because of the fact that there's going to be people that there's going to be the woman that comes into your life that you didn't know that needs to hear you speak. There's going to be the little child that just so happens to be in your presence for a split second and is able to feel God's presence. There's going to be a man that's been in your life. He's probably been in your DMs. He's
Hmm.
probably been in your DMs. But even though he's in your DMs, you have a different motive where you have to show up and give him, hey, this is what it is. Because maybe it's that person that yeah, this is so good, because then again we got to change our perspective, because we're looking at it like, oh, it's the person trying to flirt with me and get my number, so he keeps trying to be in my DMs. But what if that was a continuous option, or what if that was the retry every single time he hit you up, for you to mention God, right? Or for you to uplift him, or for you to say, hey, King, are you okay?
Hmm.
It's really like that, because, and I'll be honest, I don't even know. I'm not sure if I've spoken about this on the previous podcast, but it was literally, um, I'm a person that I'm big on work ethic, right? So, what irritates me the most is somebody that does not want to work. You
Yeah.
you want the benefit of maximum productivity, but you don't want to put in no work, right? So I'm at work and I see these people, and there's a few guys that is just terrible work ethic. They don't want to work. They just walking around, not doing what they need to do, and that irritates me, because now that adds more weight or more work on all of us, because the work still got to get done. So fast forward, I'm a person that when I'm feeling like that towards somebody, I separate myself.
Hmm.
I don't want that energy. I don't want to, lash out or anything. I separate myself. And for some reason, and this happened twice. One time was a girl, another time was a guy. Um, for some reason, they gravitated to me, and I did not know why. I'm like, but God had to humble me,
Hmm.
because I was judging the person based off of how they made me feel. Oh, this
Mhm.
is terrible work ethic, so they're not worthy of being in my presence. So I don't even need to be able to have a conversation with you. That's basically how I felt, right? Just if I want to be accountable, right, and make myself uncomfortable, that's how I felt. And it was God's way of saying, I have an assignment for you, and I need you to humble yourself because I need you to speak something into them. And I didn't know. And it was until they said it was something that like I'm a person that when you talk about business, when you talk about finances, when you talk about God, when you talk about entrepreneurship, those are trigger words for me that is going to spark me to talk to you, right? It was something along those words that triggered the conversation. And then immediately, because my wall was up, I dropped it.
Mhm.
Dropped that wall, I was able to operate an assignment. And then I realized after the conversation, wow, I was getting into my own way because I was supposed to speak to that person.
Right.
So good. So you just never know.
Never
Even
know.
even with people that are your like, let's just say you got a what is it called? Let's just say if you got a friend with benefits, or you got an ex, or you got just somebody that you are irritated with, you
Mm.
have to be careful because you don't ever want to burn a bridge with anybody, right? I mean, some bridges need to be torn down and then you build something back up, but overall, there's going to be some situations where it doesn't matter who they are, you don't get to choose who you serve.
Mhm.
You don't get to, well, I want to say that better, right? You get to choose God, right? Or
Mhm.
you get to choose who you serve in that manner, but you don't get to choose who you want to impact.
Right.
Even if it's like, yo, that's my sister, I want to impact her. You might not be called to impact your sister. You might
Exactly.
not be called to impact your mom. You might not be called to impact your brother. It may be somebody else, but
Mhm.
there's somebody that's called to you specifically, that's called to your life because you will be able to impact them in the way that you need to, but you just have to be open and humble.
Right. That's so true. Yeah, that was definitely a mic drop. That was good. That's true.
Yeah,
That's true though. That's real. Yeah, that's real. And it's real evident when um you give someone advice or you tell someone something and then they turn around and say, "Everyone's been saying that to me, but for some reason you saying it hits different."
yeah,
That's literally that.
yeah.
Like, okay, my mom may not have been the person that needed to show me that.
Mm.
And then it's like, well, mom is frustrated because I'm not listening, but mom may not understand that she's not the person that's supposed to teach me
Ooh, that's so good.
that. And that happens a lot. Like even with the guy that I'm dating, I remember telling him something, and I can't remember exactly what I said, but he was like, "Dang, like everyone says that to me, but for some reason, you telling me that just makes it more of a thing." Or I can't remember what he said, but it was like along the same lines, and I was like, "Well, so you gonna fix it? Like you gonna work on that, or?" And like ever since then, he has been, which I'm proud of. But sometimes it just takes somebody you probably don't even know, or someone you would never think to, I don't know, give you the type of advice or just hit you right in the throat. Sometimes you just like pow right in the kisses. Sometimes you just need that, and everybody may hit you right in the throat, but it just don't feel the same. It probably don't hurt until that one person do it.
Sure.
So.
It's man. Oh man, I can't tell you how many times that has happened. And I had to in life in general, even still till today, like when you are a person and we're closing out, but when you are a person that that cares deeply for people, right? What happens is whatever you say to somebody, you want to help them and impact them. And
Mhm.
then frustrated when they don't uh do or even listen to anything that you said.
Mhm.
You're like, yo, but I'm telling you what you need. Hello, this is the right, it might be the right advice. It may be the best advice that they need, but it just may not need to come from you.
Exactly. That's it.
And you gotta understand that you in that season were just the one to plant the seed.
Mhm.
Because then when they hear it a second, third, fourth, or fifth time, it doesn't become, oh, it's a brand new thing. It becomes what's the word? How about the confidence? It becomes confirmation.
Mhm.
I was like, oh yeah, I heard this before. I gotta do this. I got my house in order. I gotta do the podcast. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Now
Mhm.
so yeah, this has been a great episode, and we can go on because there's a lot more I want to say.
I know. Maybe we should do a part two for sure.
We should for sure. But I want you to close this out with there's somebody out there, right, that that has heard the podcast and they're now aware of self accountability. They're now aware of um environmental accountability. But they're like, you know what? How do I don't have the self accountability. How do I get or even find the areas or even be able to trust people enough to hold me accountable? I want you to speak to that person.
Um, from my perspective, it's to find like-minded people. It's to find like-minded people, and that's just for being able to trust someone to hold you accountable. If you don't have someone around you that is like-minded or have the same type of values, then they might not be able to steer you in the right direction when it comes to being accountable, what you need to be accountable for. So, and to go more in depth with that, that person doesn't have to be doing the same thing as you. They just have to have similar values or the same exact ones. That's it. So that um how to practice being accountable, literally just with what I was saying earlier. If you said you were going to do something and you didn't do it, practice saying I didn't do it and that's it. Leave it there. Don't give a reason why you didn't do it. Don't give a reason why you did it. If it hasn't gotten done, get it done when you can and move on to the next thing. There's no need in beating yourself up about it. Yes, we are human and it does happen sometimes, but when you practice holding yourself accountable, you will be less emotional about it because it's a logical thing. And if you leave the emotion out, you're able to keep the logic in. That way you could just get whatever is said done. You won't, feel too bad about making mistakes because mistakes can be fixed most of the time, but you don't want to keep making mistakes and then they become something that you won't be able to fix as fast or at all. What else? So I said practice. I said find like-minded people. And most importantly, be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because once when it comes to accountability, that is not a comfortable space. Not all the time. Not all the time. And that's simply because you see yourself as a certain person. And when your actions do not match who you see yourself as, it is hard to be honest with yourself about that. You can be one person, but your actions are showing that you're a different type of person. Knowing that you don't want to be that different type of person, you're going to have to revert back and fix that little midsection. That way you can stay on this side.
Wow.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
And there you go. Welcome back to the Your Perspective Matters podcast. Once again, I am your host with my co-host Jazz. And if you have not done it, I need you to subscribe to the YouTube channel YPM Pod, YPM Space Pod on YouTube, and on everything audio is Your Perspective Matters. We'll see you on the next episode.
Bye.